The book not from this planet. We're studying the book of Revelation, which is the most, as you see on your slides, the book that's not from this planet. What I mean by that is that God gives us the book of Revelation much like a movie that pulls together all the individual prophetic scenes that are in all the rest of the Bible. Just as it's said in the Pentateuch, in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, that God was going to send his son, he was going to crush Satan, that God's chosen people of promise would suffer, that is played out in the book of Revelation. And in Job, where we see the conflict between Satan and the people of God that is limited by God, that is just another scene that we see where it fits in the book of Revelation. The book of Revelation is like the full-length movie where God connects together all these individual pieces that sometimes are hard to understand individually, like what's going on in Job, what's going on in the Psalms. Psalm 2 says that Jesus is going to rule the nations with a rod of iron, and then we see him feeding people and being hounded and finally crucified, and that never happens. But it does happen in Revelation. And all these individual pieces and all those huge prophetic pieces that are in Isaiah and Jeremiah and Ezekiel and the minor prophets. And then Jesus himself telling us in his Olivet Discourse, all of his prophetic sermons, about the future. Where does that fit? In the Gospels, it doesn't clearly show us, but again, in the book of Revelation, every one of these individual scenes that are recorded flawlessly under the inspiration of God are connected together. So we can say the book of Revelation is a book not from this planet. The book of Revelation is the most well-known, the most unique, and the most neglected book of the Bible. It's also the most vital. And this book is primarily a book revealing Jesus Christ. And that's the goal of this course. Not to fully examine all these pieces, those are all parts of other courses, but to see where they fit is our goal. And most of all, to reveal Jesus Christ. Well, Revelation connects, completes, and applies all the rest of the Bible. All the rest of the Bible is connected, completed, and applied. We could put it this way, that the outline of the Scriptures are shown us by the three parts of the sermon that Paul gives. In fact, in Acts chapter 17, the Apostle Paul shares the gospel in three parts. He talks about the Creator, he talks about the Redeemer, and then he says that he's coming back as the judge. Now, as you see, Genesis 1 and 2 describes the Creator. And then from Genesis 3 and the fall of man all the way through Revelation 5, we see him as Redeemer. And then in Revelation 6 to 22, he comes back as the judge, as described in the Psalms, as beautifully illustrated in the prophets, and as Jesus baffled his opponents in the gospel, saying that there was coming a day when they would see the Son of Man coming on the clouds, and all judgment was given to him. And then, of course, everything that the Apostle Paul and Peter and James said about Jesus as the judge. Well, what do these three parts of Acts 17 tell us? Well, that the Creator means we're designed by him, which tells us about our origin, which basically is, how did I get here? Did you know everyone kind of in the back of their mind wonders about this? They wonder about where they came from. They wonder why they're here. What's the purpose of life? And that only is revealed when we meet our Redeemer. Jesus said he bought us for himself, that we could be his creations. And then our destiny. I mean, people want to know where they came from, why they're here, but where am I going? How is all this going to end? Well, our destiny is that we're answering to someone for our lives, and he is the judge. Well, let's begin this course by reading Revelation. And in your personal copy, and I can show you mine, I love the paper Bible because it's easier to underline and make notes, and also to connect it in my mind with those little notes and underlines and worn out parts of the Scriptures. But whatever form of copy of the Word of God you have, open to those. And in Revelation chapter 1, we're going to read the first 8 verses, and then we're going to pray and ask God to bless this course, Revealing Christ, that He would use this course in our reading to connect together all of these pieces that make this movie that's so visual in Revelation, but most of all, to reveal Jesus Christ to us.